Welcome to Him for Her Radio, Women's Hot Topics. Ladies, this show is for you. Find clarity, discernment, and discover who you are in Jesus Christ, all while exploring the hot topics of the day. She's an evangelist, founder, and president of Him for Her Ministries, and she's here to tell it like it is. Your host, Shug.
Hello, ladies. Hello. I am so excited about the show that we have here today. I am taping, get this, we are recording out of South Dakota, out of Wisconsin, and out of Arizona. I mean, how does this happen? We're also Zooming, so I want you to definitely go to Him for Her Radio Women's Hot Topics on YouTube and check this show out. This is going to be super exciting. I hope that we don't have a lot of glitches. I've never taped or recorded before off-site. And so thank you to John, our producer. John, are you with me there today?
I'm with you, Shug. Always here.
Oh, good. I wish I could have your good-looking face on Zoom with us, but we know you're here in spirit with us for sure. John, I need you to let me know as well. I am watching the time, but I need someone to give me a countdown when I got like 2 minutes left. So it's either you or Lee can jump in and say 2 minutes, Shug, and then I know I knew you would. You are my man. Thank you, John. If you're just tuning in for the first time and you're like, what the heck is this? My name is Shug, and I am the host of Him for Her Radio Women's Hot Topics. We have a hot topic that has come to you by request, and the show today is called Selling Everything and RVing. Selling Everything and RVing. Honestly, right now it sounds really good. And all three of us are in our RVs at different places. I want to introduce to you my friend Sheila Godfrey. Sheila, where are you recording out of?
From Hudson, Wisconsin.
Hudson, Wisconsin. And then we've got beautiful Katrina with us. Katrina, how do you say your last name correctly?
Busse.
Busse. I wanted to say bus because you're in a huge 45-foot bus. And where are you recording out of, Katrina?
I'm actually recording out of Page, Arizona, Lake Powell.
I love it. I love it. What fun. So we're all over the United States here together, enjoying God's beautiful earth. And today, you know, I met these two gals at what's called an AIM rally. It's all, what is it called, ladies?
All-inclusive motor coach.
All important coaches. All-inclusive motor coaches. A shout out to NIRVC as well. They've got locations throughout the United States. And they put on a rally for us. And that's where I met these two beautiful women. I was just so magnetized by them. They were so much fun. And they're younger than I am, which is really always a plus. And as we got talking, I found out they were full-timing in RVs. And I'm like, what the heck? So I've got a bunch of questions for them. Ladies, hang on with me and let's discover those together, what those answers are. I'm going to first introduce my friend Sheila Godfrey. Sheila, you are from Indiana.
I am.
And how old are you, Sheila?
I'm 56.
You're 56 years old. I love it.
Yeah.
You're originally from Indiana, and in 2010 you went to California. And in 2017, you married a hot guy. His name is Alan. Shout out to Alan. How are you?
Yes. That's
and
true.
So we're going to get to how you started RVing.
Well, life was, I said, yep, in 2017 we got married, and here we are, 2020. And we got started, you know, he's always wanted to travel, but since I only had lived in California for 10 years, and he had lived there his entire life, I said, I ain't never leaving California. I love it. It's so beautiful. And you can be 2 hours to ski slopes and 2 hours to the beach, or actually a lot less for us at that time. And he had mentioned wanting to do it, and I had zero interest. And then California got a little crazy since COVID. And I actually had this deep burning desire that I needed to make change. And only God could make that happen to me because I was not moving. And so about the middle of May this year, I asked him, I said to my husband, I said, what do you think about selling everything and jumping in a motor coach and traveling the country? And he goes, what? I said, yeah, like I'm really uncomfortable with some of the stuff going on in California right now. He goes, for sure, let's do it. And by the following Monday, our house was on the market. 7 days later, we bought our coach, sitting right out there. And then 30 days after we bought our coach, we were sold our home. And July 1st this year, we were on the road, sold everything but a 10 by 10 storage unit.
Wow. So that's your coach right behind you there.
Yep. I'm at a girlfriend's house in Wisconsin, and we've been parking the coach out there for the last 4 days and actually spending time in their home. And tomorrow we're going to jump in the coach at 1 o'clock and head about an hour from here and go to a harvest host, and they're going to go with us because they are now talking about buying a coach and traveling the country.
Fun. You know, you're so close to me. I wish you'd had time to stop by. That would have been fun.
I know. We'll do it again.
Well, thanks for being with us, Sheila. And Katrina, you are just a hoot. I just love you so much. I'm going to introduce you to our friends. Katrina, you are married to your wonderful husband, Ed. And share with us a little bit how you got started RVing and what led to those events.
Well, we actually had two friends that passed away that were close friends of ours, and they passed away very young. One, you know, in his 50s, and the other one in her 60s, or actually just turned 60. And my husband had been always saying, you know, when I retire, I want to get a motor, I want to get an RV, I want to head to Prince Edward Island and turn left. And then when that happened, you know, we just started, you know, at the first funeral of Todd's, we were, you know, we were at his funeral and we were talking and going, you know, life is too short. I mean, 54 years old. And I mean, it's just way too short. And so we decided to, you know, definitely Ed was like, okay, retire, I'm going to go. And then when our second friend, Karen, passed in 17, we just started saying, you know what, we're definitely going to do this. So we started looking at coaches, and I wasn't, you know, I was like, okay, this is 5 years down the road. I don't need to really worry about this. And then, you know, so we looked at coaches in October of that year. We had no clue that in December, Ed would, you know, lose his job, and which was a blessing in disguise. And but he would lose his job, and then our whole world would change because, you know, he just decided, I'm done. He says, I'm done working for the man. He said, we're going to sell our house, we're going to sell everything, and we're going to buy a coach, a motor coach, and we're going to travel the country. And so that happened. He decided that on New Year's Eve. And then so then in February, we listed the house. We sold it in 10 days with dual offers, and we were out at the end of April. So literally sold the house, moved into the coach, and moved into, you know, got the, did the estate sale and everything. And we're out of there in 2 months. I mean, it was crazy. And I was still working during that time. So I was working and packing and doing all that stuff. I mean, it was nuts. I mean, I look back and go, I don't even know how I did it. I don't even know how I did it because it was crazy. So, well, but yeah, so we've been on the road. Yeah.
Yeah, you both are so young, and it just, that's what really got me attracted to selling everything and moving. And Sheila, you had mentioned California was getting crazy. I believe that you were talking about politics and some of these other things and COVID and all that. And then now you can get in your RV and travel if you don't like where you're at. Katrina, same thing with you. You guys were talking about already doing this. And I do think it's God's provision that, you know, you wonder how many years would it have taken by the time you decided to take off had Ed not lost his job.
Maybe never.
And, you know, we had dinner together one time, and Ed was just hilarious. So a shout out to Ed as well. He is so funny. He's such a funny guy. So Katrina, let me ask you this next question. The question that I'm going to ask is, you had told me that you wanted to possibly do this for like a year and a half. Well, how long have you guys been RVing now?
Yeah, that's the funny thing is when he said that, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking 5 years down the road, 5 years, I can plan for this. I can get excited about it. And then when he said, oh no, we're selling and we're leaving. And I was like, oh my gosh, I mean, he's for real. Like this is really what he wants to do. So I, you know, I wasn't really gung-ho about it in the beginning because I thought, oh, you know, we'll just do it a year and a half, and then we'll find a we'll find another place to retire. That was our goal. We were going to find a place to retire, and we're going to use the coach to kind of decide what area of the country we wanted to live. Well, a year and a half went by, and we hadn't even seen all of the United States. And we had been to Alaska, but we hadn't seen, our goal was to hit all 50 states, which of course you can't hit Hawaii because you can't take your coach there. But so 49 states, and we hadn't done that. And so we thought, okay, another year. And the longer we've been on, and we're on year 3 now, it's actually been, we're like 2.5 years in almost. And the longer we've been on, the more friends we have made, the more we love the lifestyle, the more it's just like, you don't need a big house. You don't need a house. I mean, it's just crazy. I do miss my friends dearly. I miss my tennis gals. I miss playing tennis, but you know what, that's gonna, we did buy a lot in Florida, and that's going to help because I'll be able to play tennis down there. But still, I love the people I've met, and I've loved the type of people I've met. I mean, it's just, everybody's so willing to help everybody, and it's just crazy. So, we love it. So now we're in year 3, and we have no idea. I think we're going to keep going until our kids start having grandbabies, and then we'll decide. But that's where we're at.
Yeah. Wow. How exciting. Grandbabies, that might be enough to make you stay more stationary.
I know. I don't know yet. We're down the road from that though.
So I think just thinking like a typical woman would think, the first thing is a 45-foot, I believe you both have Newmars, is that right?
Right, yep.
So a 45-foot coach, which is a huge coach, but still versus a house or an apartment or a home and all your stuff. I mean, right away in my head, I'm like, how do you sort out what you need and what you don't need?
Not sure we really know.
I think, that was part of the process that I went through in that 2 months of, doing the estate sale. I first decided what I wanted to take in the coach. And then I decided, what I could take and couldn't take. And I have gone, part of our stuff, not very much, but whatever we had left, which is like our pictures and memorabilia stuff and a few kitchen things, and was left with our niece. So shout out to Jeanette and Danny who are storing all our stuff. But I have gone back, and I did get, my shrink sealer, the food store sealer thing, because I didn't think I needed that. And now I found that I definitely need that. But overall, pretty much, I did buy an Instapot and a dual Instapot and air fryer. Never had one of those. So, but I think, other than that, I think I've gotten everything, that I took everything that I needed with me, and it was just basics,
Sheila, you guys are brand new to RVing. And not only are you basically newlyweds, you're new to RVing as well. How did downsizing and purging work in your life?
Well, it was very interesting because Alan had all the things from his life and his mother who had passed. I had all the things from my life and my mother who had passed. So when we got married in 2017, we brought all those things together. So not only did we have to get rid of our own personal things, the things we joined together, but also our family things. It was quite a journey, but I will tell you that I really prayed about it and had prayed that the people who bought our home would buy most of our furniture, and they did. And then everything else I gave to my daughters. And so we didn't have a sale. We just, except for what sold with the house, we gave most everything else away except for what fit in a 10 by 10. And like Katrina said, pictures, things that I don't know what to do yet with, but I don't really know if I should give them away yet. Things that are not replaceable. We're just trying to be the things. Anything that I can replace, I get rid of. So then I filled the coach with everything that I thought I would need. And I'm going to make a great big tub this next week because we're going back to California in a couple weeks. And I'm going to take some things back home because there are some things that I don't want to let go of. that I'll carry on the plane to take home and put it back in storage. And then other things, I'm with my girlfriend today, and we dropped by a big box to Goodwill just today, because there's things that I'm not going to use. But then my girlfriend said, she goes, don't take everything in your coach because you won't be able to buy anything. But she's so right.
Something comes in, something
room.
goes out. That's probably the way it works.
Yeah. And it's funny because
you both have you both have kids, and I'm really curious about your families and what was their response. And Sheila, let's start with you. I know you've got 3 girls, 3 boys, 3 girls from your side of the family, 3 boys from Alan's side of the family, merged families. You're newly married, and now you tell your families we're selling everything and going in the coach. And then Katrina, I want to ask you that same question.
So
next.
our kids, all 6 of them, were graciously, totally excited for us. And we were really, really surprised.
Wow.
But they were all independent. 2 of my daughters were engaged, and our friends, even our friends, we did not have one person say anything negative. Everything was encouraging. And one of our friends, even multiple of our friends, said, "This is our life dream." And I laugh at them and go, "This was not my life's dream." But here I am, and it's amazing. And I didn't know what I didn't know. And so it's been quite a journey.
And you know what I like that you're both doing is that you're both blogging for family and friends, your adventures, so they can follow along and live vicariously through your adventures. Katrina, how did your family react, and how many kids do you guys have?
we have 2. We have a daughter who's married, and our son, and he actually is with us. So he just came for, he's here for like about 12 days. So it's fun to have them come and be a part of the journey. But the funny thing about us is they thought we'd last like 6 months. And then they say, "Oh, you guys are going to be done. 6 months and you're done." And honestly, it has strengthened our marriage more than anything, is being together this close. And I mean, obviously we're 2.5 years down the road now, but that was the big joke. They thought it was funny, and you'll last 6 months. But they have come so many places with us, and they love it. So it's been a lot of fun. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun.
Wow. You know, you just led me to my next question, which is really one that we're all thinking about. Small space, husband and wife, you can't always, it doesn't matter how long or how short you've been married. Sometimes you get on each other's nerves, or, maybe you need a little bit of space. How do you guys handle that? Katrina, can you bring us into that? When things feel a little tight, does your husband ever drive you nuts?
Yeah.
Are they going to be listening to this?
It is very, very close space, and you end up, we have been married, 30 plus years, and it's crazy because there's little things that he did, and I'm sure that I did, that we really never noticed in a big, huge house, and then you get in a small space, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But then you just have to deal with it, and you just move forward. And it's a lot more communicating, a lot more talking and soul searching and deciding, obviously you can get through it. We did, but you end up doing a lot more talking than you did before, because like in our big house, I could go, oh my gosh, there were so many places I could go. I could go to the basement. I could go to my office. I could go to my workout area. I could go to the bedroom. I could go outside. I could sit by the pool. There were so many things, and here there's not. And I do still, what's nice is obviously you can go for a walk, but we can get in our tote, and which is our, the car you pull behind, and you can go and do some shopping, or go, have lunch by yourself or something, or just something like that. Yeah.
Most women would say swimming pool, workout room. Why'd you leave that? That'd be hard to go for sure. But the fun thing is you can get in your RV and go to different campsites that might have that.
Yes.
Sheila, share with us, what do you do, Sheila, when things get a little bit too tight or unnerving in your RV?
Well, we've only been on this journey since July 1st, so only a few months. But the thing is, I haven't really noticed a whole lot of tension yet for a couple reasons. One is both of our love language is time spent. So we do enjoy spending time together, and we really have a very easygoing relationship, but he also is still working on the road. So he a lot is in his office, which is in our bedroom, and can shut the door, and I can work in the rest of the coach, or just even go outside for a walk. But we haven't had that yet. So we're new enough into this still that we haven't experienced a whole lot of that. But we also, time spent is our love language, so it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Well, and but still you're with each other 24/7, 7 days a week. It doesn't matter if it's just months or years, that is a lot of time. And
it is.
It's definitely a good way to stay COVID friendly. You've got that social distancing from other people.
Yeah.
But, let me ask you this question. We just have a few minutes left. And ladies, if you're just listening, my name is Shug, and I'm the host of Him for Her Radio, Women's Hot Topics. Today's hot topic is called Selling Everything and Going RVing. And so these two beautiful women, Katrina and Sheila, have sold everything with their spouses, and they're on the road 24/7 RVing. So my next question, that's just, I just can't wait to hear some of the next following ones, is what is probably the most unexpected surprise you had from RVing on the road so far? Why don't we start with you, Katrina?
Wow. Surprise. I would say for me, it's probably been the country in general. Just seeing the country. I mean, I don't know if that's where your question was going, but I'm going to say that's because I knew we lived in a cool country, but I never had experienced all the national parks, and I'd never experienced all that. I did, show horses when I was younger. And so, my family would take trips, but I would stay back and do the horses, and my brothers and my mom and dad would go and see all the national parks. And to me, it wasn't important at that time because I liked showing horses better. So, but to see the national parks now and to just experience the beauty that we have in our country and in Canada is just unbelievable. So that would probably be the biggest surprise for me, is just everything that I was missing that I didn't even know I was missing. So, just the beauty alone. And as far as, other surprise, I mean, there's been a lot of things that have happened in the coach, but, getting rugs stuffed under the slide, not having having your jacks fail. I mean, there's been a lot of things that have happened that have been a surprise, but I think overall, the biggest thing is just seeing the country and how incredibly beautiful our country is, and how we take it for granted and we don't even realize it. And most people, when you think about it, there's so many people out there that have never even left their own state. They've never even left their own state. And to see what incredible things God created for us is just, craziness.
I know. And I don't know how you can look at this beauty. We just came through the Badlands and not believe there is a God, because it's absolutely beautiful.
Exactly.
Sheila, I got 1 minute left. Sheila, share with me, if you would, just the biggest surprise you've had. And then we're going to do a part 2. Will you ladies stay on with me for a part 2?
Sure.
So Sheila, share with me just a surprise that you've had.
Definitely finding out that I didn't know what I didn't know about this beautiful country that we live in. That was definitely one. And then another biggest surprise is the complications of, in our journey, getting our mail. That has been, very interesting. And we have our mail service now in South Dakota, right by exactly where you're at, Shug. And there's a lot of different loopholes you have to jump through when you change your residency. And
well, let's get into that in part 2. We're going to get into that in part 2. And Deuteronomy 31:8 says, the Lord himself goes before you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. So it doesn't matter where you live in America, ladies, whether you're in a sticks and bricks home, whether you're in an RV, whether you're in a tent, Jesus Christ is with you. Thank you, ladies, for coming on with me. Again, my name is Shug, Him for Her Radio, Women's Hot Topics. Stay tuned. Next week, we're doing part 2, Selling Everything and Going RVing. This is Shug, over and out.